Hulk was once one of the strongest and most terrifying forces in the entire MCU, but somewhere along the way, the monster stopped being scary, and Marvel made its entire audience hate Hulk. Then the leaked Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer showed us a brand new Hulk. Much bigger, much smarter, and absolutely ruthless. Except he is not brand new at all. He was always there, and he has even appeared in a movie before. Today, I am going to tell you every detail we know about Grey Hulk. But before we get into the video, I'm having an algorithm problem, and my videos aren't getting pushed to viewers. If you'd like to help me out, simply liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications would be more than enough. Enjoy the video. Grey Hulk is not a new character, and he is not a recent invention. Hulk was originally gray in Marvel Comics before he ever became green. In his very first appearance, the creature that emerged from Bruce Banner was a gray-skinned monster, not the green giant most people picture today. Over time, that gray version became much more than a simple color difference. Grey Hulk grew into one of the most important identities living inside Bruce Banner's mind. To understand why, you have to understand Bruce Banner himself. Banner's Hulk problem is not only about gamma radiation. The gamma radiation created the physical transformation, the size, the strength, and the green body, but it did not invent the personality. Banner's trauma and his psychology shaped the different Hulk identities that live inside him. In the comics, his mind is fractured, split into separate pieces, and each Hulk identity represents a different emotional part of who he is. Hulk is not one creature wearing one face. He is several, and they do not always agree. The version most MCU fans know is Savage Hulk. This is the classic Green Hulk, the one who smashes, roars, and leaps across cities. Savage Hulk is childlike, angry, lonely, and direct. He reacts with raw emotion and overwhelming force. He wants to be left alone because he carries a wounded and rejected part of Banner, the part that was hurt and never felt safe. His power is tied directly to his anger. The angrier Savage Hulk becomes, the stronger he becomes, and that rising rage has almost no ceiling. That is what makes him terrifying. There is no calm version of him to reason with. Grey Hulk is a completely different story, and his most famous identity is Joe Fixit. Joe Fixit is not simply Hulk with gray skin. He is a separate Hulk personality with his own way of thinking. He is smarter than Savage Hulk, more sarcastic, more selfish, and far more manipulative. He is usually not as physically powerful, but he is more controlled and more strategic. Savage Hulk destroys because he is angry. Joe Fixit destroys when it benefits him. He can talk, lie, negotiate, gamble, plan, and wait for the right moment to use violence. Joe Fixit became famous during the darker Las Vegas era of Hulk comics, especially in Peter David's celebrated Hulk run. In those stories, the Grey Hulk reinvented himself as a casino enforcer and bodyguard type figure. He wears sharp suits, moves through crime stories, and operates in a world of money, threats, and favors. This turned Hulk into something closer to a noir anti-hero than a traditional superhero. He is not purely evil. Joe Fixit has a conscience, and there are lines he will not cross, but he is far more selfish and far more morally dangerous than the Hulk that movie audiences usually know. This is why Grey Hulk matters as an identity. He proves that Hulk is not one simple monster. Hulk is a system of identities living inside Bruce Banner. Savage Hulk is rage and pain. Smart Hulk is control and compromise. Joe Fixit is confidence, selfishness, survival, and street-level intelligence. Grey Hulk gives the character a kind of psychological danger that does not depend on size or raw strength. The threat is not just what Hulk can break, it is which version of Hulk is currently awake. This brings us to The Incredible Hulk from 2008. That film gave us one of the darkest versions of the MCU Hulk. It treated him more like a horror creature than a friendly Avenger. The early transformations are shot in near darkness, with the creature half hidden in shadow, so the body reads as gray and desaturated before the full green is ever revealed. That tone matters, because it shows the early MCU had real room for a deeper and darker Hulk, the kind of space where an identity like Joe Fixit could exist. So why did Hulk's solo story almost disappear after 2008? The reason is mostly about rights, and it is worth getting right. Universal does not completely own Hulk. Marvel always kept the ability to use the character in team-up movies, which is why Hulk kept showing up in the Avengers films. The complication lives on the distribution side. Universal holds certain rights tied to releasing a standalone Hulk movie, including a right of first refusal, and that made a true solo Hulk film difficult to produce for years. That is one major reason Hulk's journey continued through other MCU projects instead of direct solo sequels. From there, the MCU kept Hulk busy without ever giving him his own movie. He appeared in the Avengers, in Avengers Age of Ultron, in Thor Ragnarok, in Avengers Infinity War, and in Avengers Endgame. Banner later turned up again in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and then in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Across these projects, the MCU slowly moved Hulk away from horror and tragedy and toward team dynamics, comedy, and eventually Smart Hulk. This made him more likable and easier to enjoy, but it also quietly reduced the danger that made him so powerful in the first place. That shift reached its peak with Smart Hulk. In Avengers Endgame, Bruce Banner combined his own intelligence with Hulk's body and finally stopped fighting himself. On the surface, this looked like Banner had solved the Hulk problem for good. From the perspective of Hulk mythology, it is more complicated than that. Smart Hulk shows control, but control is not the same as healing. Banner did not fully face or explore every part of himself. He found a functional balance that let him live and work. She-Hulk Attorney at Law made that point even clearer. In that series, Bruce uses an inhibitor device that lets him appear fully human again and regulate his Hulk form. He explains that his Smart Hulk state had become permanent, and the device is how he manages it. This detail is important. It shows that MCU Banner still relies on science and technology to keep the Hulk under control. He is not simply free of the problem. He is actively containing it day after day, and anything that has to be contained can still get out. That is the exact space where Grey Hulk would fit into the MCU. Here is the key difference between Joe Fixit and the Hulk the MCU has shown. Savage Hulk is dangerous because he is almost unstoppable, a wall of rage that only grows stronger the longer a fight lasts. Joe Fixit is dangerous for a completely different reason. He has enough Hulk power to be a real threat and enough intelligence to use that power for himself. He does not just smash, he chooses when to smash. He combines Banner's knowledge, Hulk's body, and his own street instincts into one calculating personality. That mix is what makes him one of the most distinctive identities in the entire Hulk mythology. It helps to go back to where the gray actually came from. In The Incredible Hulk issue 1, published in 1962, the Hulk was gray. By issue 2, he was green, and he stayed that way. There is a popular myth that Marvel changed the color because of DC, or the swamp monster Solomon Grundy, or some copyright problem. That is not what happened. The commonly accepted reason is far more ordinary. The gray ink was difficult to print consistently, and the color kept coming out uneven from page to page, so Marvel switched to green for reliability. A simple production problem ended up creating one of the most interesting parts of Hulk mythology. The color choice also carries real meaning on screen. Green slowly became the color of a hero. Green Hulk could be read as an Avenger, a protector, or at worst, a misunderstood monster. Gray sends the opposite message. Gray feels colder, more sinister, more street level, and more villain coded. The moment an audience sees a gray Hulk, they instantly understand that this is not the same friendly Smart Hulk from the team films. The color sets a different expectation before the character even speaks. It quietly tells you to be nervous. In terms of raw power, Grey Hulk is usually not as strong as Savage Hulk. He does not climb to that same limitless anger-based power level nearly as easily, but he makes up for it in other ways. He is smarter, more controlled, more strategic, and much more willing to play dirty. The older Hulk stories also gave Grey a memorable twist. Bruce would turn into the Hulk at night and return to human form during the day. That nighttime rule ties Grey Hulk directly to darkness, shadows, and the feeling of a classic monster movie. It is worth knowing that Banner's mind does not only hold Banner and one Hulk. Over the decades, the comics have introduced several distinct identities. There is Savage Hulk, there is Grey Hulk or Joe Fixit, there is Professor Hulk or Smart Hulk, and there are darker forms like Green Scar, Devil Hulk, and the monstrous future tyrant called Maestro. Each one is its own personality, with its own goals. The point is not to memorize every version. The point is that Hulk is almost an entire mythology packed inside a single body, and Grey Hulk remains one of its most fascinating pieces. This is also why the average MCU viewer does not know this side of Banner. The main MCU has shown very little of Bruce Banner's childhood or his psychological origin. We met him already broken, already running, already at war with himself. The 2003 Hulk movie did explore parts of Banner's trauma in detail, but that film is not part of the main MCU continuity. Because the movie skipped so much of Banner's inner history, identities like Grey Hulk and Joe Fixit can feel brand new to people who only watch the films. In the comics, they are part of Hulk's deepest foundation. The Grey Hulk conversation has become relevant again because of the current Spider-Man Brand New Day discussion, where Banner appears in human form managing the Hulk with his inhibitor device. It is worth noting that Spider-Man and Hulk have crossed paths many times in the comics, and the Grey Hulk has been part of Spider-Man stories before. That history is interesting, but it is not the focus here. The point is simply that Hulk, and specifically the gray side of Hulk, is back in the conversation. Looking at the bigger picture, Grey Hulk gives Marvel a clear way to make Hulk frightening again without simply repeating Savage Hulk. It hands Bruce Banner a richer and more complicated internal conflict to fight through. It lets Hulk be scary through personality instead of through size alone. Joe Fixit can speak, plan, bargain, and manipulate, which means the threat can come from his words and his choices, not only his fists. exists. That is what makes him different from every Hulk version the MCU has actually explored on screen so far. In the end, Grey Hulk is not just a color change. He is one of the clearest signs that the scariest Hulk stories were never really about strength. They are about Bruce Banner losing control of which part of himself gets to speak, and not knowing who will be standing there once the dust settles. Do you think Marvel will finally give Hulk the respect he deserves? If you enjoyed the video, liking and commenting would really help me get rewarded for the work I put into this. Do not forget to subscribe so you can be notified instantly when the next videos drop. See you in the next video.